Let me ask you a question. What was the first super team in NBA history that was so good and so overpowered that it basically felt unfair? Was it Kevin Durant joining the 73-9 Golden State Warriors? Or how about LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh stacking the deck on the Miami Heat while they were all in their prime? Both of those would be decent answers. But if you ask me, the first super team that was so good that it felt unfair actually happened several decades before either of those squads assembled. We have to go all the way back to the 1982 NBA offseason. At this point in time, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were alternating championship victories, as the Lakers won in 1980, the Celtics won in 1981, and the Lakers won again in 1982. With that said, certain teams were well within striking distance. One of them was the Houston Rockets, who made it to the NBA Finals in 1981 and who was led by the 1982 League MVP Moses Malone, who was coming off of a season where he averaged 31 points and 15 rebounds. The other close team was the Philadelphia 76ers, who were led by the 1981 League MVP and Dr. J, Julius Erving. And they made it all the way to the NBA Finals in 1982, where they eventually lost in 6 games to the Showtime Lakers. Understandably, Philly was looking to get better in the 1982 offseason, but no one was truly prepared for the earth-shaking move they were about to pull. As I mentioned earlier, the reigning league MVP was the 27-year-old Moses Malone, who had just completed one of the most dominant all-around individual seasons in the history of the NBA. The thing is, behind closed doors, Moses was not thrilled about the way Houston was handling his contract situation. The owner of the Rockets at the time was a well-known businessman by the name of Leslie Alexander. Leslie was known to be a bit of a penny pincher, so when Moses was a restricted free agent in the 82 offseason, he was looking for a lucrative offer, but Leslie offered a contract that was only $1.5 million per year. The 76ers, on the other hand, were very aggressive and offered Malone a much higher $2.2 million per year. Believe it or not, that $700,000 gap was more than the Rockets were willing to spend. So they matched the offer, but only to initiate a sign-in trade with the 76ers, so they could at least get something in return for their departing superstar. The actual return they got for Moses ended up being laughably bad, as they received an aging Caldwell Jones who only averaged 9 points in his 2 seasons with the Rockets, and they also received a first-round pick in the 1983 NBA Draft, which they used to take the 6'7" Rodney McRae, who only averaged 12 points and 6 rebounds in his 5 preceding seasons with Houston. Meanwhile, thanks to the Rockets being incredibly cheap, the 76ers, an already established title contender, just added arguably the best player in the game at that time in Moses Malone, instantly making them one of the most stacked rosters in the history of the sport. Moses understood the gravity of this move, and he knew full well that he couldn't simply expect to be the same player on such a loaded roster. Shortly after the trade, and prior to the season starting, Malone said, "I think coming here will make me a better ball player, because people won't be looking at me to do everything. I'm going to do what I do best. It's the Doc Show, and I'm going to enjoy the show. I'm not coming here to take over nothing." Again, a 58-win team who was within 2 games of winning an NBA championship just added the MVP who averaged 31 and 15. If you're still not able to grasp just how stacked this roster was, then let me put it in perspective by breaking it down in detail. They had the 1982 League MVP in Moses Malone. They had the 1981 League MVP in Julius Erving. They had an all-star floor general and the best defensive point guard in the league at the time in Maurice Cheeks. They had the all-star shooting guard Andrew Toney, who was number 6 in scoring that year among 2 guards. And they had the 6th man of the year and arguably the best defensive player in the entire league in Bobby Jones, who would make first-team all-defense in the first 10 years straight of his professional career. Add in a deep bench, and then add in a solid head coach and a basketball Hall of Famer in Billy Cunningham, And what you have is in fact a team that was so good that it actually seemed unfair. The 76ers would go 65-17 throughout the 82-83 regular season, which was a significantly better record than what even Bird's Celtics and Magic's Lakers had, despite playing in the tougher of the two conferences. This season, 4 of their players would be NBA All-Stars. 3 of their players would be first-team All-Defense, including 2 players who finished in the top 3 for the Defensive Player of the Year. Moses won the league MVP in back-to-back seasons, and Bobby Jones was the 6th man of the year. This team was so dominant and so confident in themselves heading into the playoffs that their best player, Moses Malone, famously predicted that they would go undefeated throughout the postseason. He said, quote, "Foe, foe, foe," implying that each and every series would be a 4-game sweep. Although he technically wasn't correct in that prediction, he was about as close to being correct as he could possibly get, as the 76ers swept Bernard King and the New York Knicks in the first round, as Moses averaged 31 and 16 on 57% shooting. Then in the East Finals, they gentlemen swept Sidney Moncrief, Marcus Johnson, and Bob Lanier's Milwaukee Bucks, with 4 of their players averaging at least 16 points per game. Then in the NBA Finals, they swept Magic and Kareem's Showtime Lakers, with a double-digit average margin of victory. Unsurprisingly, the Finals MVP was the chairman of the boards, Moses Malone, as he averaged 26 points and 18 rebounds while hitting 51% of his shots. If you're looking at individual seasons in a bottle, then quite frankly, this team has a very legitimate argument for being the greatest team in NBA history. In the regular season, in the postseason, offensively, defensively, and in terms of accolades, they completely and utterly dominated the competition, at a time when other all-time great teams were not supposed to be getting dominated. The reason why this jaw-dropping dominance is often forgotten is because it simply didn't last beyond this season, and there were a variety of reasons for that. And maybe eventually I'll make a video explaining the fall of the Malone and Irving 76ers. But in terms of one specific season, this was certainly one of the most insane and seemingly unfair runs of excellence in NBA history. So what do you guys think? What was the most unfair display of dominance that you've ever seen in the NBA? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Shout out to the members for supporting the channel, and thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.